spent a lot of time around adults, even though I have two older sisters. They were substantially older than I was, and so I spent a lot of time with my parents and their friends. So that probably, put me in a position to feel like I didn't really have a lot to add to the conversation, so I was pretty quiet. Well, I was born in Hollywood, down south, but we were there until I was about 10. So I don't know that necessarily shaped who I became. I think the fact that we moved to Pasco County when I was in 4th grade probably had more of an impact on me. We lived in a very rural area. We didn't even have a normal address. It was like rural Route 4, Box 78 or something like that. And so, again, I spent a lot of time alone because we were out in the sticks. So I rode my bike a lot by myself. I went fishing by myself, and I read a lot. My mom would take me to the library pretty regularly, and I would load up on 10, 15 books, and so I did a lot of reading. Probably my mother. My mom was a sort of a frustrated housewife. I don't think that was how she saw her life when she was in high school, but it's just kind of the way that it turned out. And given that frustration she experienced, she's put a lot of time and effort into encouraging me to be the best person I could be, to beat into me that I could be anything that I wanted to be. No one in my family, my older sisters, didn't go to college, so it was kind of a given that things would change with me, and that's where I would be going, and there was never any question that that's the path that I would pursue. My father worked his behind off always. When I was younger in Hollywood, he was a salesman. He worked a lot of hours. He wanted to open up his own business, which is one of the reasons why we moved to Pasco County, but that business really struggled. And thankfully, my mom really knew how to pinch a penny, and we did some, looking back, really some pretty extreme things to save money. We would, my mom would turn off the hot water heater, and we would boil water on a gas stove to put in the bathtub to take a bath, because it saved money by not turning on the hot water heater. We didn't use the electricity all the time. We had kerosene lamps that were cheaper to use, and I would sometimes do homework by a kerosene lamp as opposed to turning the lights on in my bedroom. So, she really knew how to stretch a dollar, and that's had a tremendous impact on my life. When I was in college, I interned for a humanities professor named Kimberly Philos. The humanities was really, that area of study really touched me, and frankly, if I could have been anything I wanted to be, I would have been a humanities professor. But I knew that my opportunities here in the Tampa area were very limited at that time if that was the path that I pursued. I also learned that I could major in anything that I wanted to major in college and still go to law school. And so I stuck with humanities as my major in college so that I could get that fix of art and literature and the things that were important to me, but still be able to go on to law school. I was not a person that took legal classes, law classes, criminal justice. I didn't do any of that. I did what I wanted to do in undergrad, and it also led to me making really good grades because I was really interested in the work that I was doing, and then went to law school, and I only applied to Stetson. Well, I went to USF because it was close to home. I never even applied anywhere else. I went to USF after St. Pete Junior College because, again, you couldn't get a 4-year degree there at the time. and I was living with my parents. And my dad got sick, he got cancer, and I needed to be close to home. So again, it never occurred to me to even go to Gainesville. I mean, it was just, I need to be close to home, and so USF was the spot, and that's where I went, and I don't regret that at all. I don't think that was really a challenging time in my life. It was really kind of an exciting time in my life where I got to do a lot of different things. I also backpacked in Europe one summer, and that was all about my interest in the humanities and art and music and literature, and that's one of the reasons why I worked multiple jobs, so that I could save the money to do that and it wouldn't impact my parents in any way. And I traveled with some best friends from high school on a shoestring budget where we slept on rooftops and on beaches, and but we saw the world, and it was the best experience, really. I think I learned about myself, my study habits, things that I needed to change, but also, what I was capable of and the things that really interested me, and the fact that I could balance this idea of my interest in art and music and things like that with the law, that those two things, again, are not mutually exclusive. I can tell you that my college experience didn't even prepare me for law school, frankly. I mean, it was because I and my parents kind of allowed me to live in a bubble a little bit when I was in college, that I could focus on my studies. And even though I was working, I wasn't that challenged academically in undergrad. I did very well and didn't have to put a whole lot of effort into it. But that was not the case when I went to law school.